Hi guys, welcome to another session of Math, SEC Math. All right, so today we're going to be working on addition. We can tell by the plus signs on all of our problems, but we're going to be working on triple digit addition. Triple meaning 3 because we're adding numbers that contain 3 digits. So 345 plus 167. I will be working with you on these 4 problems, and then after I will show you problems that you can work on at home. So first things first, we're going to write our name on our paper. That way we don't lose any of our hard work. Next, we will read the directions. So read along with me. Solve the following problems. Regrouping when necessary. So we're going to go ahead and start with this example problem right here. Remember, we're always going to start right to left. Excuse that, we have a little bit of announcements going on. We're always going to start right to left when we're doing addition problems like this because this is the ones spot. This is the tens spot. And this is the hundred spot. Now I wrote out the number 100 instead of writing out the long word hundreds, but you guys get it. So if we had only one column, it'd be the ones, and that would be a 5 and a 7. When we add the tens column, it makes double digit numbers. So that's 45 and 67. When we add the hundreds column, it makes triple digit numbers like 345 and 167. And those are the style of problems we're going to be working with today. 3-digit addition. So like always, we're always going to start with the one spot first. And notice there are no touch points on these numbers. So if you need them, all you do is do your touch points on the number that is the smallest. So between 5 and 7, I know 5 is smaller than 7. So I'm going to go ahead and add touch points to my 5. And then I'm going to count, starting with my greatest number. Starting with my biggest number, I'm going to count. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5 plus 7 is 12. So we're going to write down the 2 because it's in the one spot, and we're going to carry over the 1 to be in the 10 spot. Because whenever you have 2 numbers added in the one spot that equal a 2-digit number, like 5 plus 7 equaling 12, we only write down the number that's in the one spot, which is a 2. Because if we write down, let's see, the number 12, the 2 is in the one spot and the 1 is in the 10 spot. There you go. 2 is in the one spot and the 1 is in the 10 spot. So we carried over that 1. So now we have 1 plus 4 plus 6. So remember, we're going to add touch points to the smallest numbers. And since we have 3 numbers, we can go ahead and add touch points to the 2 smallest numbers. So I know 1 is smaller than 6 and 4. So I'm going to add a touch point there. And 4 is smaller than 6. So I'm going to add some touch points on that 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and add 1 plus 4 plus 6. And remember, we start with the greatest number, with the biggest number. So I'm going to start with a 6. So I'm going to add 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, like previous number, we're going to write down the 1, and then the other 1 and the 11 gets carried over to the hundred spot. Remember, like 12, 11 has a number in the 1 spot, and it has a number in the 10 spot. So we're only going to write down the 1's spot number, and we're going to carry over the 10's spot number. So now we have 1 plus 3 plus 1. So we're going to add touch points to the smallest numbers. So I know 1 is smaller than 3. So I'm going to add a touch point at this 1. 3 is bigger than 1, so we're not going to add touch points on that 3, but we are going to add a touch point on this 1. And so when we start counting, we're always going to start with the greatest number, the biggest number we have, which is 3. So I'm going to go ahead and add 3 plus 1 plus 1, and you can count along with me as I count. So we're going to start at 3, 4, 5. Good job. So now we know 345 plus 167 equals 512. So now let's move on to the next problem. Remember, we're going to start with the 1 spot. So between, you can ignore these because we're starting at the 1 spot, between 8 and 3, which number is bigger? Yes, the 8 is bigger. That means we do not put touch points on the 8, but we can put touch points on our 3. So we're going to start counting with our biggest number, the 8, and we know we're going to count up because it is addition. So count with me. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to write down the 11. Remember, like we did this one, we write down the 1s, but we carry over the 10 spot. So the answer is 11, so we put 1 here, and then we add a 1 over here to the 10 spot. And now that we did the 1 spot, we're going to go over to the 10 spot. So now we have 1 plus 5 plus 0. So remember, we're going to add touch points to the smallest number. So 1 is smaller than 5. So I'm going to add a touch point to the number 1. 0 is smaller than 5. But remember, zeros do not get touch points. It's almost like we can kind of ignore a 0 because it doesn't have a number value. So we're going to go ahead and count starting with the biggest number, which is 5. So count with me. 5, 6. Oh, sorry guys, my watch was trying to do math with me. So the answer is 6. 5 plus 1 plus 0 is 6. Now we're going to move over to the 100 spot because we already did the 1 spot, we already did the 10 spot. Now we're moving on to the 100 spot. So between 4 and 1, which number am I going to add touch points to? That's right. I'm going to add touch points to the number 1 because it is smaller than 4. So let's go ahead and count starting with our 4 because it's our greatest number. 4, oh, I'm blocking it. 4, 5. Good job. So the answer to 458 plus 103 is 561. Now we're going to go ahead and work on these 2 problems a little bit quicker so I can give you guys your homework and you can take all the time you need and work on it at home. So remember, we're going to start with the 1 spot, 4 plus 7. I know 4 is smaller than 7, so I'm going to add touch points. And I'm going to add them starting with the 7, which is the greatest number. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're only going to add the 1's position number here, and the other one gets passed over to the 10 spot. So once we finish with the 1's, we're going to move over to adding the 10's, which is 1 plus 7 plus 1. I know 1 is smaller than 7, so I know I'm going to add the 1's touch points to the 1's. And then we're going to add, starting with the greatest number, which is the 7. So 7, 8, 9. And we're going to go ahead and write that down. Since it's a single digit, we just write the single number here. When it's double digits, like our 11, we put the first one in the 1 spot and then the other one into the 10 spot. All right, so now we have 2 plus 3. I know 2 is smaller than 3, so I'm going to add touch points to the 2. And I'm going to start counting from the greatest number, the biggest number, the 3. So 3, 4, 5. Good job. So now we know 274 plus 317 is 591. And we're going to work on our final problem right here. I know 0 is smaller than 9, but remember, 0 does not get touch points. It's almost like an invisible number. So the answer to 0 plus 9 is just 9, right? Whoop, there you go. So we just write out the number 9. And now that we're done with the 1 spot, we move over to the 10 spot. So I know 5 is smaller than 7. So I'm going to add touch points to the 5. And I'm going to start counting from the greatest number, which is the 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to put the 2 down, and then the 1 is going to travel over to the 100th spot. And then we have the problem 1 plus 6 plus 2. I know 1 is smaller than 6, so I'm going to put a touch point there. And I know 2 is smaller than 6, so I'm going to add another touch point there. And then I'm going to start counting from the biggest number we have, the greatest number, which is 6. So let's count. 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we know 650 plus 279 is 929. So there you have it, guys. We've worked on our top 4 problems together. And now I'm going to show you the next 12 problems I want you to work on at home. And remember, I know you guys don't have this worksheet at home, so you can pause the YouTube video if you need to, grab a sheet of paper, and write down the problem that you'll be working on. It will give you good practice on how to write out your numbers and keep them lined up. So there's a ones row column, there's a tens column, and there's a hundreds column. And you can practice on adding your touch points to the small numbers, right? So we're going to add 9 plus 2, so 2 is a small number. We're going to add 8 plus 7, so we know 7 is a smaller number. And we're going to add 6 plus 1, so we know 1 is a smaller number. But let me go ahead and give you guys another shot at the problems you're going to work on at home. And that will be the end of our lesson. I look forward to the next session of SEC Math with you guys. Bye!